Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode or another day of Tales with Miss Fennell. Today, we are going to read a story that's a little bit different than the ones we've been reading for the past 2 days. The past 2 days, we've read books that have been nonfiction or realistic fiction books. And today we're going to learn about a fable. And a fable is a story that has a moral or a lesson. And the fable we're going to read today was originated in India. And a fable usually is a story that has lots of versions to this, but we're going to read the version that comes from India today. And before we start, the skill that we're going to be working on today is visualization. And I know that is a really big word, but my students have learned that word. So I want you to think about this bag or what's in this bag. If I visualize in my mind, or you guys are visualizing in your mind today, if I reach inside of this bag without knowing what's in, when I'm visualizing, that means that I'm creating a movie or a picture inside of my head. So as I reach into this bag, you guys are closing your eyes to visualize. And I am going to describe to you whatever is in this bag, what it feels like. So as I am reaching in to touch what's inside of the bag, I can feel that it is rough. I can feel that in some parts it is smooth and it feels like it has ridges to something. I wouldn't be able to visualize and know what color it was or the size of it or what it looked like, but I can visualize the size. I take that back because I can feel that it's kind of shaped like an egg or maybe an oval. I don't know what color it is because that doesn't have to do with me visualizing. So after saying all those things, what would you guess was in the bag? I'm pretty sure that a lot of you, by the descriptions that I gave, would guess a whole bunch of things. But who would have guessed that it was in football? Not many people would have guessed it was a football. And that's kind of what our story has to do with today, because it's going to cause a lot of visualization right now. So the story that we're going to read today is called The Blind Men and the Elephant. And this is a story that is retold. It wasn't written because now we know that a fable is a story that was told over and over. So this story was retold by Phoebe Franklin, and all of the illustrations, which means the pictures in the book, were designed and drew by Coco Medici. So this is a story about a group of 6 blind men that learn that an elephant is coming to their town. They have never heard of an elephant before, and they are super excited to learn what it is. When they meet the elephant, however, they can't agree on what it is. So what will they do? I wonder what these men will do. Let's read to find out. The first thing I want you guys to do before we start reading is to visualize. So I want you to think about, close your eyes and imagine that there was an elephant in the room. I know that's kind of silly because we know elephants are really big and they wouldn't be inside of our room, but this is visualizing. Imagine that an elephant was in the room and you were touching each part of this elephant like we see these men doing. What would that elephant feel like? Imagine you're feeling the trunk of the elephant, the ears, the tusks, the legs, and the tail. What would all of those things feel like? In a faraway village, lived 6 blind men. One day, an elephant arrived in town. Everyone within miles ran to catch a glimpse of the great creature. The blind men didn't know what an elephant was, but they wanted to join in on the excitement. The first blind man approached the elephant. "I will find out what an elephant is," he told his companions. He felt the elephant's side. It was as broad and flat and smooth, just like a wall. "Aha," he said. "An elephant is a wall." "A wall," marveled the others, pleased that they now understood an elephant. I don't think these men understand what an elephant is. "That can't be true," said the second blind man. "Why would a wall come to town? Let me try." He approached the elephant and grabbed hold of its tusk. It was as long and thin and hard to touch, just like a stick. I am sorry to disagree, he said, but it is clear to me that an elephant is not a wall. It is a stick. Naturally, said the others. They were pleased that they now truly knew what an elephant was. But I say an elephant is a wall, insisted the first man, and I know an elephant to be a stick, declared the second. The third blind man stepped up. How can an elephant be a wall and a stick? He asked. He approached the elephant and felt its trunk. It squirmed and twisted just like a snake. Are you ready to hear what an elephant really is? He asked. It's a snake. A snake, marveled the rest. They were pleased that they now truly knew what an elephant was. But I say it's a wall, insisted the first man. I know it to be a stick, declared the second. They are so confused. I don't mean to upset anyone, said the fourth blind man. But an elephant is clearly something more important than any of those things. He approached the elephant and felt its leg. It was as rough and wrinkly. But he put his arms around it, and it was thick and round, just like a tree trunk. Aha, he announced. It is obvious to me that an elephant is actually a tree. A tree, muttered the two remaining blind men. Perhaps, but they were less sure now than ever before. I say it's a wall, insisted the first man. I know it to be a stick, declared the second. I am certain it's a snake, exclaimed the third. I am convinced it is a tree, argued the fourth. Argue. Now I know they're arguing, guys. Let's keep reading. Let us stop this bickering, the fifth blind man said. Permit me to find out once and for all what an elephant really is. He approached the elephant and felt its ear. It had folds and flaps in the wind, just like a fan. The mystery is solved, he announced. An elephant is really a fan. A fan, said the remaining blind man. I wonder. I say it's a wall, insisted the first man. I know it to be a stick, declared the second. I am certain it's a snake, exclaimed the third. I am convinced it's a tree, argued the fourth. It is without question a fan, pronounced the fifth. Stop, shouted the sixth blind man. Let me end this confusion now and for always. He approached the elephant and felt its tail. It was long and thin, and it swayed back and forth just like a rope. All right, said the sixth blind man. We have our answer. An elephant is without a doubt a rope. There was no one left to argue. I believe it's a wall, insisted the first. I know it to be a stick, declared the second. I am certain it's a snake, exclaimed the third. I am convinced it's a tree, argued the fourth. It is without a question, a fan, pronounced the fifth. I'm sure it is a rope, added the sixth. Now I wonder, now that all of the men have felt the elephant, what are they going to do now to figure out what it really is? Let's read to find out. Friends, said the first blind man, how can one thing seem so different? If you want to truly know something, you must understand all of its parts. On that, we can all agree, replied the others. With that in mind, the men investigated the whole animal and finally gained a true understanding of an elephant. So, with a fable, we know that is always a moral to the story, and the moral of this story is that you have to be able to feel all the parts to understand the whole, or there are always two sides to a story. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Tune in tomorrow to see what story we're going to read next. Bye, friends.